Hello, my name is DomiToonami, and I am here to give you the optimum settings on OBS and how to achieve the best recording settings, if you will. So we're going to just hop right into it. So first of all, this can be obtained through Streamlabs OBS or regular OBS. They're generally the same thing. You'll hit settings. Once you're in your settings, you want to make sure that you go over into your output right here. And you may be on simple, you may be on advanced, but we're actually going to keep it simple. And there's a couple reasons why. Some of the reasons why are because there's way too many different types of computers out there. Okay? Way too many. To be like, well, one thing fits all. That's not always how it works. So what we want to do is we want to try and make sure that we're catering to everybody. Now, I'll show you later how to kind of juice a little bit more out. But under this, you'll see that this video bitrate under streaming is going to have no reason to exist if you're recording. Under here, however, this is where we're going to look. What I would recommend is not to have this on same as stream, because then this bitrate will in fact matter, and we don't want that. You can have it on high. That's not bad. Indistinguishable. Great. Lossless. As you can read here, there is definitely a power draw when you're trying to go to lossless. I don't recommend that if you're having if you want a great gaming experience. So recording format, if you use anything besides like MP4, normally you will be able to have, like on FLV, if your power shuts out or whatever, you'll still be screwed. But if you just end the stream or OBS crashes or whatever, you'll still have that file. So FLV is great if you need to download VLC media player in order to play some of these things, because the media player that's default on Windows is pretty poop anyway. But for demonstration purposes, I'm recording this on MP4. The encoder matters a lot. You can have X264 or hardware. You'll see a warning here saying, hey, wait, you're using the same as streaming and recording. Again, this is just focusing on recording and nothing else. Use X264 and give it a test. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's not hitting on your gameplay that much. If it's not hitting on your gameplay that much, perfect. We want to keep X264. If it is hitting on your gameplay too much, we'll switch to the NVIDIA NVENC hardware encoder, which will use your graphics card, your GPU. The difference, though, is if we have to use the hardware one, we have to make sure that when we go to run OBS, that we right-click this thing and run it as administrator mode, which I know my webcam's in the way. Crap. But anyway, you want to make sure that you find your OBS and you run it in administrator mode if you're going to run it off the GPU. So let's say, okay, well, that's pretty simple. That's literally it for the most part. Under your audio, you don't want to have 48 kilohertz. You want to make sure it's 44.1. These things, it doesn't matter. These are just appointed to whatever you're using for audio and microphone. Your video does matter. So the base canvas resolution should match whatever monitor you're using. Doesn't matter if it's a 4K, an ultra wide, or whatever. Use whatever screen resolution you're on. Don't know how to figure that out? I will show you. You right click, you go into display settings, you click on whatever monitor you're playing on, you come down here, and there it is. Okay, we're on that. Perfect. So open this back up, go back into our settings. Okay, so now our video is appropriately set. So now what output scaled resolution should you do? If you're streaming, the only time you should do 1080p 60 at 36 samples at a 6000 bit rate while you're streaming is if you're using the NVENC encoder and running this thing in administrator mode on a 2000 graphics card, or so 2060, 2070, 2080, 2080 Ti. Okay, or you know, a 1066 Super, or whatever the hell, 1070 or 1070 Super. No, 2070. Yeah, 2070 Super, 2080 Super. Okay, those are the only times that you can use it. If you have any other card, you have to do 720p, which is right here, 1280 by 720. Otherwise, it just, you don't have that extra filter to make this thing look good, where you're looking at somebody's 1080p and you're like, wow, that looks really good. Why does mine look like poop? It's because sometimes it's the hardware. Advanced, you leave the process priority on normal. Do not touch this, please. There's tons of videos saying high or idle or whatever. Just don't touch this. It just puts the processing priority from your game, which is, your games are always on high. So it takes it from trying to fight your game to idle, which is, well, it doesn't even give a crap unless it's like a Windows tab at that point. It's using almost nothing to compete. You leave it on normal because most of the times, if you have your game mode enabled, most of the times this will process correctly every other frame. So that's good. Also, if you hit your Windows key and type in game mode and you hit enter, and it brings up this game mode settings, make sure all your Xbox game bar that's off, the captures as well. Make sure this stuff is off, right? Game mode on and Xbox networking, you don't gotta check. That's it. You're ready to rock and roll. So it's either X264, do not use the middle one, the low preset. No, not going to get into that. And if you use the NVENC one, run that thing in administrator mode. That's it. So what I recorded this on was MP4 and X264. That is what you're seeing right here, right now. My webcam is in 1080p, 30 FPS. My stream itself is in 60 FPS, so you'll probably see some webcam jitters. Because technically, you shouldn't have a webcam that doesn't do the same frame rate as your stream. But it's like one of those mechanics things, you know? Everybody's car runs perfectly, except the mechanic's car has like a blown head gasket and he drives it every day. Literally me. So, I don't know. Get at me. Hopefully this helps. Appreciate you. Take it easy.